All right, let's see what the commie technocrats have in store for us. The video is entitled, What is the Great Reset? Davos Agenda 2021, and it comes to you from the World Economic Forum. Let's look at this thumbnail. We got Christine, whatever the hell her name is, the IMF lady, right? We got Putin, the young Putin, that other Putin. Looks like some transgendered SJW. George Bush. What the hell? Greta. Just a whole bunch of great people, basically, obviously. Is that Pharrell? Jesus.
The pandemic has radically changed the world as we know it, and the actions we take today as we work to recover will define our generation.
So that thermometer gun to the head, that always reminds me of that famous photo from Vietnam, right? I told you these guys are commies.
Now is the time to think what history would say about this crisis.
Managing Director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva.
2020 has been challenging on a lot of levels, as economic, environmental and societal frailties have been laid bare. But it's also proved that when we need to, we can act rapidly and restructure our lives.
Recovery from the pandemic is an opportunity. We can see rays of hope in the form of a vaccine, but there is no vaccine for the planet. Nature needs a bailout.
How do we go from a supposed health crisis to saving the planet, right? Restructuring society.
You don't want to go back to the status quo that you had before simply because it was the status quo that got us here.
With everything falling apart.
So, this is the vegan agenda, right? Let me take a sip of my coffee. Or this is how the vegan agenda ties really well into the Great Reset, right? The New World Order, whatever the hell you want to call it. You know, it's because we've been bad to Mother Earth. We've been polluting, and because we've been eating animals, of course, we get these zoonotic diseases. You know, that's one of the narratives, right?
We can...
Why aren't they talking about pollution, though, right? And how that may contribute to respiratory disease, right? Radiation, things of that nature.
reshape the world in ways we couldn't before. Ways that...
Reshape the world. So you had a bit of an explosion there, right? So we're going to rise up from the ashes like the phoenix, right? Shit's going to get blown up, though, first. So very revolutionary, right? Very, very, very commie.
Better address so many of the challenges we face. And that's why so many are calling for a great reset. A great...
So then you have, you know, natural disasters, natural and not so natural disasters, and obviously we have to respond to all this stuff, right? It is well known, should be anyway, unless you've been living under a rock, and it's been admitted to now, that various governments, corporations, tinker with the weather, right? Geoengineering is a real thing. Do you think geoengineering has any impact on the climate at all? Isn't that what it's supposed to do, right?
To reset? That sounds more like buzzword bingo masking some nefarious plan for world domination.
So, you know, this is why they turn off the dislikes on YouTube, and this is why they don't allow you to comment on this video, right? Let's check out. I know from experience that if a video really hits with the public, you get maybe 1 like per 10 views, right? So this should have, if it was really, really, really popular, it should have somewhere like 100,000 likes. You know what I mean? It has 8,100 likes and 1.4 million views. My guess would be it has something like close to 100,000 dislikes, right? Because people don't want this, right? And even if you could sell some people on this idea, they weren't asking for it. They're just sheep. Okay? So this whole them quote unquote preempting allegations of conspiracy. Well, that's because this is exactly what it is, right? It's exactly what this is. Well, why have these people been meeting at Davos and other places before that? Bohemian Grove, whatever the hell have you, right? What were they doing over there? Just banging each other? No. They did a lot more than that.
Up, this kind of slogan hasn't gone down well. But all we really want to say is that we all have an opportunity to build a better world. And it's not surprising that people who...
So you have the utopian rhetoric and imagery, right? That's what communism has always promised.
who've been disenfranchised by a broken system and pushed even further by the pandemic will suspect global leaders of conspiracy.
So because we shut down your economy, right? You're poor. Okay, duh.
But the world's not that simple. Every one of us has differing...
They just told you what it is, right? This is what we're doing to you, right? Submit. It's not a conspiracy. It was the pandemic, the virus the dead virus. The dead virus shut down your economy, okay? It was coronavirus that did this to you. That makes sense.
Priorities, values, and ideas. That's part of why solutions are so hard to come by, and why we all need to be involved in the decision-making. Because whether it's politicians, CEOs...
Right, we all need to be involved. This is the inclusivity, diversity, right? We're all equal. Rhetoric, all it is rhetoric, right? Communism. So simply because you have, right in the center, some sexually confused chick, right? Let's say. Then that means that she represents all of us, right? Greta represents all of us poor people, and so does Pharrell, right? They all represent us. Don't worry about it. It's just not. It's not going to be just a bunch of bigwigs and a couple of bald dudes with a lot of money, right? Deciding. You're very well represented by little Greta and some dyke and I don't know who that is. Looks like one of the Kardashians or something. I don't fucking know, man. I don't follow this bullshit.
Academics, activists, or you. We're all about getting people together. Even
Well, there it is, right? Right there.
those you may not like. To sit down at the table and develop...
Those you may not like. Account suspended. This is all inclusive, guys. Like, wow.
solutions that work for all of us. But
We need enormous trust between the private sector and the public sector for this to actually work.
Right. Trust us. We have your best intentions, or your best interest is our intention. Of course, right? Trust the science. Trust us. Delegate your power. Right? Just let us do what we will. Submit. Or as they showed you before, obey.
That trust is hard to come by.
it's time for people to work together. Listen to...
It's hard to come by. Explosion. Okay, see how... Everyone's going to get brought into the fold, whether they like it or not. And, this is the means we have.
each other and build this trust so we can move towards a better world. And we really need one. Because while the pandemic affects us all, it's clear it affects some more than others.
The first people who are hit are the people at the front.
right? I mean, Bill Gates doubled his net worth or something like that during the pandemic. Yeah, of course. You you kill off the little guys and they scoop up the bodies, right? They take over. The guy's been doing little more than just buying up land all over the damn place, right? So that he could be in control of food production, right? Because, you know, he wants to involve everybody.
Those who are vulnerable. It is those on the front line who take it first. And that is simply unacceptable.
See,
So this is the more of this Marxist rhetoric, if you will. The underprivileged, right? Some have been hit worse than others. There's this inequality. We need to level the playing field, right? Because there are victims and victimizers, the oppressed and the oppressors, and we're here to save you, right? This is so Marxist.
the start of 2020, 1% of the world's population owned 44% of the wealth. And since the
Well, there it is, right? Like, there it is.
start of the pandemic, billionaires have increased theirs by more than 25%, while
Billionaires like Bill Gates, right? So you created this inequality with the lockdowns and all these restrictions, right?
150 million people
Right? So while we were told to wear a mask, stay at home, you guys were wheeling and dealing, you know, making all kinds of deals, installing 5G everywhere, buying up land, cannibalizing smaller businesses, right? These big fish swallowing up all the little fish, right? Like, this was all you're doing, right? You planned this in Event 201, and now you're doing it. And now you're gonna... This is so dumb, right? We created this problem, and we're here to save you. Like, who buys this, right?
fell back into extreme poverty. And with climate change set to dwarf the damage caused by the pandemic, the
So, you know, once again, you have the rich versus the poor, right? Marxism.
message from 2020 should be abundantly clear.
Capitalism, as we know it, is dead.
Capitalism is dead, right? Marx, who needed a lot of rich capitalists' money to be able to, you know, sit at the library and think and tinker, right? Because that motherfucker didn't work, really. Told you that capitalism, he wasn't anti-capitalism. Capitalism was a necessary stage to bring in communism, right? We need capitalism, obviously, to gain power, but ultimately capitalism is a very unjust system, and of course it is. If it was a just system, then people wouldn't, so many people wouldn't have a problem with it. Like, obviously the people that benefit from the system unjustly, obviously they don't have a problem with the system, right? But this is how you create these two opposing groups, and you play them against each other, and you come in as the savior, right? So this is the final stage before global communism, right? As Marx told you, capitalism is necessary. We need it to create the oppressor and the oppressed, and the resources that capitalism allows us to have, to that it concentrates in the hands of the few. We're going to need that, right, to ultimately bring in equality, right? Communism or Marxism, whatever the hell ism, state socialism. And now they're telling you that this is the end, guys. This is the end of capitalism. This is the end of private property, right? And by the end of capitalism, they mean, you know, these people go from one extreme to the other, right? In my opinion, the solution is somewhere in the middle, right? A hybrid system with, you know, some private property, but also property that's owned by all of us at the same time, right? Other kinds of natural resources, so on and so forth, for example, right? And no one being able, not to get on too much of a tangent, no one being able to own too much land for themselves, like Bill Gates, right? That's not just, because that disenfranchises everybody else, obviously, and definitely the unborn, not yet born. But yeah, all these capitalists are saying capitalism is bad. It's dead. Well, dead for you, obviously, right? So this is exactly what Marx talked about. Capitalism will die, and we'll be able to usher in communism. Except this is on a global scale, and that were probably his aspirations too.
Obsession that we have had with maximizing profits for shareholders alone has led to incredible inequality and a planetary emergency.
Right? The victims and the victimizers. Even though this is the victimizers, right? They're gonna act like they're the saviors. And you know, they made you poor. They destroyed the environment. We have to fix it. What they should be saying is like, we made you poor. We destroyed the environment. We're gonna fix it now. But they can't say that because no one would buy that, and hardly any people are anyway.
But no one can do this alone, and top-down approaches won't get us anywhere, because everything we've learned in our work has shown us that diverse voices lead.
Right? Top-down approaches won't lead us anywhere. But this is exactly what it is, right? These people meet in secret. I mean, we all know that they're meeting, but the meetings themselves, most of them, are secret, right? But this is where they bring in, well, not really diversity. It's more like diversion, but oh well.
Lead to better results. And it's for these reasons that the...
So once again, you have, common folk, so-called common folk. They're all shills, obviously. They're all just puppets. Is that will.i.am? Fuck. Oh man. You have the Chinese, what is he, Prime Minister? I forget his name. Jinping or something like that, right? Fucking human rights abuser. Commie with imperialistic desires, hopes, right? Looking to take over the world in more ways than one. Like, that's one of the diverse voices we need, right? Then you got Duterte from the Philippines, right? Great guy for sure. But all these people they're just part of the same crew, right? Oh, but look, they have different skin color and different ages, and they come from different socioeconomic standards or groups, levels, it's kids and adults and everybody, even Fido gets a say. Even your dog gets a say, right? Front and center.
Forum talks about something called stakeholder capitalism, which would shift businesses away from just profit, because...
If we want to change where the focus of our recovery will go, then we need a new dashboard for the new economy. And that needs to encompass people, planet, prosperity, and institutions.
Giving people a real stake in the economy and putting well-being before growth.
Right, this is state socialism, right? They're acting like you're going to actually have a say. You're going to co-own the means of production, right? So long as, you get jabbed up once a week, you get a Q-tip shoved up your nose twice daily, so long as, you act in accordance with the social credit system and you gain as much credit as possible, so long as you're a good old slave, you're going to own everything together with us, right? It's no longer going to be about profit. It's going to be about your well-being. We're all just going to do yoga in the park together, mask-free.
And that's all about getting the right people in the right place at the right time.
We must rebuild our relationship with nature for the survival.
So they got this African girl in some, I guess, traditional African garb, right? So it's legit, right? She knows about nature. None of you city dwellers know anything about nature. You need, a nature girl over here. Obviously, duh. She'll tell you what's up because she knows.
Of the peoples and our planet.
We have a window of time which is closing, and we need everybody who cares to get together and fight.
So more fear propaganda, right? If you don't do this, the earth will implode and we're all gonna die, right?
Find solutions now.
And once again, she knows because she spent her whole life with, you know, chimps and maybe a gorilla or two. So she knows everything about you because evolution.
It's the people who have great ideas and who share them with others. They're the ones who are shaping.
Right? The people that are muzzled, sick eye, muzzled people, right? It's your voice that counts. I mean, this is so blatantly self-refuting and contradictory, right? You really have to be, I don't know how many jabs you would have had to have taken not to get this, right?
In the future. So if you want to be a part of the change, then tune in, turn on, and get involved. Follow the Davos Agenda, right here, online, on YouTube.
So if you want to get involved, follow what we say. Like, this is just, you know, completely self-refuting and contradictory. If you want to be part of the change, right? If you want to get involved, if you want to get your voice heard, put that muzzle on and listen to what you know, the grown-ups tell you, children. Well, that was just beautiful, wonderful, and it all speaks for itself. There's a reason why all the comments are off, the dislikes are disabled, because they want to include you and they care about your opinion. And what else is there to say, right? What else is there to say? This is the same old fucking trick that's been played forever and ever and ever, you know, as if we didn't learn from USSR or China, let's say, right? We're just gonna keep doing the same shit over and over because we're all fucking insane. Thanks for watching.